Hello, my dear friends, my dear fitness friends. I am making this video in English as I posted yesterday on my social media pages that I made a little note that I'm going to do the same video that I did in German language. I'm going to do the same one in English about more authenticity on social media, and it's very important for me to do it in English as well because first of all I had a lot of English speaking clients in my classes here in Switzerland, in Basel, and I have a lot of friends all over the world who didn't hear from me for a long time. And it's really, really important for me to share my heart message, to talk about a time like the last 6 months or even the last 3 years, what I was going through, and just to share my truth and my authentic self. So I'm going to try not to repeat myself, but even though I have to, because I want to actually say exactly the same things, but in English. And first of all, excuse me because English is not my mother language, so feel free to correct me if I say very weird stuff. So, how do I want to start? Yes, I said in my German video that I posted that my heart, my intuition was pulling me to do this video and to post it, to really share my vulnerabilities, which was the hardest thing for me. And I didn't really understand why I should do that, but like the reactions since yesterday, the messages I'm getting, the private messages, really just confirmed my feeling that this message that I'm sharing is so important and it's like really needed. So I feel much more lighter and much more free to do this video because I'm just so like, it was a big thing for me to do that video, to put it out, because I'm sharing a lot of deep stuff. So I feel much lighter because I just resonate with the right people, and this is actually my way of life, how I want to live. So let me start. I had a long break from the social media world, from this whole doing and posting. I disconnected myself totally from every page that I got. And I also disconnected a little bit from my life. These identities I created. So the last 6 months I really disconnected from all of that. And like the people who are following me or who are friends on Facebook with me, they know me. They saw that I did the last 3.5 years the jumping fitness and pound fit classes, the group fitness classes, and that was like my little business. Actually, I lived most of the part of that. So it was really like my baby. And maybe someone who's watching that for the first time, that's what I did. I'm a group fitness instructor. I'm much more than that, but that's what I was doing. And it was in June. In June this year, I decided to stop, to totally close down everything. And one of the reasons was because my mother passed away. And I am doing this video, and as I said in my German video, normally what we do on social media or what we do generally in life, the way we live is mostly we are in a big storm, in a big challenge that really brings us down to our knees, and we go through that. We just pull back. We're with ourselves. We somehow go through this challenge, And then after a while, after a few weeks, after a few days, after a few months, however long or how long it takes, we come back, and we come back with this result. And I could actually do the same, but my heart and my intuition is telling me not to do that, because I just realized I went through so many stuff, and life is really challenging me to wake up to my truth and to really share my truth. And this is not why I'm choosing to go through this process like totally and then show up and show you my happy face and my perfect filtered pictures on my social media profiles. I really want to speak the truth and even talk to you while I'm still in the process of emotional healing. And I'm coming out, like the worst part is behind me, really guys. The worst part is behind me. I'm coming out of a phase where I had panic attacks. I had really like the depressive moods. I was in a lot of anxiety, like stuff was popping up in my mind from my subconscious that made me go crazy. I thought all the time all my realities are breaking down, and I had like psychosis stuff going on. Whoa. So and really I'm now here, I'm talking, I can smile, I can laugh again, I can allow myself again to feel this. And not only allow, I really feel joy, because I'm a joyful, my nature is a joyful, happy person who loves life, which doesn't mean that I'm not here in this reality to be challenged and to feel also all the other feelings that I just didn't know really very well how to deal with them, because no one is really living. I mean, maybe a few people have parents and school and society who show them how to live and go through difficult emotions, but I have to be honest, I didn't really have amazing examples of who teach me emotional intelligence and how to deal with really deep, intense, lower vibrating emotions. So that's what I'm doing now for myself. I'm going through this process, and I'm really healing myself. I'm healing my soul. I'm healing my soul. So I did the jumping fitness classes, Pound Fit. I did these classes, and there was a period in my life where really, I have to say, I was living my truth, because this person you guys saw, that was like my inner child being finally free, who can jump around, scream around, do whatever it wants, and create a business of it. So that was me. I was in the most joy, fun, love. I connected with a lot of amazing people. I was just living my truth. I could really express who I really am with all my faces and screaming and stuff. That's really me. That's really me. And meanwhile, I was feeling all these high emotions. Like on the other side, almost for 3 whole years, my mother's body had a cancer manifestation, and she was and we were as a family for almost 3 years in this really tough experience. So meanwhile, I'm here super high. At the same time, I'm watching my mother, how she's slowly dying. There were highs and lows, but mostly lows. I can really say now, I was in the process of watching your loving parent to die slowly. And I felt a lot of emotions like deep sadness, frustration, emotional pain, anger, so much anger. So many emotions that it was so overwhelming sometimes. I didn't even know how to handle them. I was just putting all my survival patterns, I just took them and this is how I went through the whole thing, because I really wanted to keep up my fitness business and the baby I've created that I love so much. I wanted to keep that up, so I didn't really let myself feel all these deep emotions. And there were times I really felt them, and there were times I was talking a little bit about them, but most of the time I was just suppressing it. I was just suppressing it because at that time I didn't know, I was not conscious of my behavior. I didn't really understand the whole process, but now I understand it more. I have another perspective. I was just suppressing a lot of stuff, getting all my surviving patterns, and just pushing through, because my subconscious knew if I let myself feel all this volcano of emotions, it will explode and I will not be able to function. I will not be able to keep up this energy that I'm having. So I was actually like protecting myself, from this energy of all these unfelt emotions. And through this period, I realized that we human beings, we are so fascinating beings. Like in the worst cases in our life, we have our surviving patterns. We take all our shields and we go through life, and we can go through so much, and we are still here. We are still standing. We are still functioning. We can still put our happy faces on and not really showing our true emotions. And as I mentioned in the first video, I realized that I really learned very well how to keep up my happy face. And it's more and more clear to me that this is a conditioning. This is a lived example how you deal with your lower vibrating emotions. And not only examples of my parents, of my culture, it's also of the way society works. Like, look at us, we're all putting our happy faces on our profiles, but no one really knows if behind closed doors you are crying. So for me, in this period, there were days that I went to visit my mother, and when I saw her, like a lot of times I was looking at her and I was like inside in broken pieces, because like in the other video, I didn't even explain what kind of images I saw, what kind of procedure that was, how a person looks like when it's fully with chemicals. The body was cut so many times to take all the stuff out. She was fighting. She was fighting for her life, and I was there, and I somehow have this learned behavior to be the strong one in my family. I'm the strong one. I put my masks. I don't want to be another reason for my parents to suffer, because we suffered a lot. We suffered so much. The whole 3 years. So I didn't really show them how bad I felt. And then I was mostly like trying to keep myself strong. And then I was like running home. And I went to my apartment, I closed my door, I went through my bed, and I was crying like a little child. I don't even know, now I'm getting so much more emotional. That's why I'm saying I'm still in the process. I'm crying almost every day. And it's okay for me. I think I never cried so much in my life. And I feel it's like letting go of all the resistance, of all the pains that I was accumulating. So after my breakdown crying, I get up and I'm drying my tears. I take my phone and my playlist, I'm scrolling through it and like getting ready for my class. And then I'm ready, I go to the room where I teach classes, and I decide in that moment that this is your present moment, Yelena. You don't have a future and you don't have a past. This is your present moment where you are free. You're free from all the pain and all the suffering that you're feeling quite often. And when the people came in, they asked me, so many kind people, they asked me, how are you? And I was like, yeah, today was a difficult day. I was challenged today, but I'm okay. And I didn't do that because I wanted to fake something. I just did it because I realized in the cases when some friends or people who know me and who know my story, when they ask me, Yelena, how are you doing? They can see through my mask. They ask me that, and I talk a little bit about it. And every time I did it, like this energy was coming up, like I could not almost breathe. And I realized, whoa, no, you cannot do that before your class. You can talk outside of this zone, but you cannot do it here because this energy is coming up and you cannot teach with this energy. It's like so much heavy emotions. You cannot have the highest energy, screaming, dancing, whatever. You cannot do that when you let these emotions come up. So I was doing myself and the guys as well a favor, and my mentality is when I do something, I give my best. So these people, they take their free time, they take their money, they come to invest it here in this energy, in me. So they will get my best. They will get my best. They will not get a half. Yeah, no, they will get the best of me. And this is the way I was functioning. And let me think what else I said. Yes, then the moment when my mom passed away in April, I really thought I was in the illusion that I can just continue. I can have a break of 10 days, 2 weeks, and I will just continue with my classes, with the whole craziness. And I was in the biggest illusion because there is a higher intelligence that is living me. And this intelligence knew, like, this lady is in a big illusion. She's not really listening. And I'm trying to send her for a while now some signs, like little whispers, but she's still not listening. She still wants to go autopilot. So let me bring her some heavier stuff that she has to be like shaked, and she realizes that she needs to stop. So it started to, like, even in March, I had a lot of challenges in private life, then some health issues, then a lot of like personal challenges. Then of course there was the worst period of my mom's state, so I had to watch her almost every day. she was looking like, I just realized, whoa, this is not looking good. This is not looking good. So after a while, after I was teaching a few classes, after she passed away, I gave my last jumping class, and I was not really feeling myself. I was the biggest weirdo ever. I had the biggest panic attack just before this class started. So I don't know how I managed to control myself. I gave the class and I realized, you are a freaking zombie, lady. You're a freaking zombie. I went home and I just knew, I decided, like, finally I felt that you need to have a break. You need to have a break. And during this break, my holidays were planned. So I actually planned my holidays a few months before all this happened. And it was like a big coincidence, but I knew it was a synchronicity for me. I'm a student and I'm a big fan of Dr. Joe Dispenza, and I'm doing his guided meditations now for over than a year. Like, at the beginning I did it almost on a daily basis, and now I'm doing them on a daily basis, twice a day. There's no excuse for me, no excuse. So it was a synchronicity that exactly at the same period there was a week-long retreat in Mexico, so I was getting ready for that, and I really felt I'm not good. I'm really sad and I'm depressed. But I was thinking, okay, let's just prepare. There were like a lot of online progressive workshops that I had to do. I was like every day for hours watching this stuff and like preparing myself for that. And at the end I couldn't go because I had a big volcano breaking out of panic attacks. I was scared of flying. I ended up in the hospital, stuff like that. And I also have to say, like, my explosion and all this accumulation of all this craziness that I was experiencing, it was provoked by a really profound, intense, energetic experience, which not a lot of people know about that. I didn't know neither. I was doing some breathing techniques and meditations that provoked that, and I didn't really know what I was doing. So as I said, I think one day I will make a video about this, because my guiding system, I love to call it now, it resonates with me that this is the divine, the loving intelligence, but people can call it God or the universe or angels or whatever. Everyone has his own perception of this. I just knew I was one day like breaking down on my knees, and I was praying and saying thank you at the same time. I said, please divine intelligence, don't solve this for me, this challenge, but please send me signs, please send me strength that I can go through that. And guys, I did that until now 3 times in my life, and they're coming. The next day I was bombarded with signs, with information. Go watch this. The info just came to me, and I felt it, that it was an answer for me. So I was watching these videos and I was so grateful, because I realized there are other people who had the same experience. So I'm not a freaking zombie. I'm not crazy. I am just going through this intense experience, which might take a while till it settles down, or there were different kind of experiences. Thanks God, when I compare with other cases, I had a smooth one, even though it felt for me like I'm like going crazy and I'm going to die. So after that, I was in this really crazy period. Here comes the part with more authenticity on social media. I had created these social media profiles, my fitness one, but as well my private one, where I was really sharing the stuff I like, I love, who I am, what I'm doing. But of course, I'm sharing mostly the positive stuff because I'm the positive one. And sometimes I did share my pain in a form of spiritual quotes that I was actually all the time now realize posting for myself. Like every time someone posts something, realize, or you're doing this for yourself. This is your journey. This is what you are going through now, and you're posting this to yourself. You're not teaching anyone anything. You're posting this for yourself. Oh my God. So I was after this craziness breakout, I was at one moment, I was looking at my social media page and I was kind of shocked what I was seeing there. I was like, who is this person? Who is this matrix ego condition created personality that you are playing here? And I was in a lot of judgment. I was like, you feel so much pain and so much anger and frustration, but you hear this jumping around screaming lady. What is this? What is this? And of course I was thinking that because during this experience all my ego created stuff started to break down, and I was not any longer more identifying with this personality that I somehow, with a lot of conditioning and subconscious programming, I was creating. And it's not that this person is a fake person. All those things I'm living are really parts of myself, but this is just not the whole truth. This is just not the whole truth. And this is also mostly how we live our lives. Like, we've been conditioned and taught to not really show your deep stuff, your stuff that is under this surface way of living. And after I got all this information and I realized, okay, you can now just allow yourself to go through this process. You're not crazy. It's going to be fine. Somehow the universe is taking care of you, even though you were scared. Oh my God, I'm not working, no money, what I'm going to do, blah, blah, blah. Everything somehow just took care of itself because I was just finally following, letting my heart lead me and not going from this analytical mind that doesn't even get what I'm going through, you know? So I just let myself go through this, and I allowed myself to feel all these emotions. I finally realized you can allow yourself to be that. You can allow yourself, because there were a lot of deep emotions, childhood wounds, and a lot of like hurt situations that were buried in my subconscious that just opened up. It came into my conscious mind, and I had to look at this stuff. I had to deal with it. I had to let it be. I had to learn to let go. And after a while, I started to feel a lot of compassion for myself, for my loving heart. And I realized sometimes I had feelings of, oh my God, I think I'm falling in love with my heart. That doesn't make sense to me at all, but this is how I feel. And I cannot even tell this to someone because they will think I'm a crazy person. But it doesn't matter. I just let myself and my heart and my intuition guide me. And it looked for me like I'm going into more and more and more chaos. Everything's breaking down. Everything wants to go away from me. Everything. And you just have to realize life wants to teach you the biggest lesson. Let go. Let it go, Yelena. Let it go. And suddenly, through all this explosion of craziness, from time to time, I felt this feeling of compassion for myself, compassion for myself with all these deeper emotions that I didn't know how to deal with them. I was looking at my page after a while again, and I realized this is a person who just took all her surviving patterns, a person who got so much subconscious programming and learned patterns, and she just did the best she could. She wanted to share her joy and her love because this is what she really is. And she just didn't know how to deal with her pain, and she just wanted to keep up this baby that she created and these amazing moments with the people, because we shared so much love and so much joy, and it was giving me a lot of positive energy, my classes. And I had a lot of compassion for myself, and I told myself, I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. Don't wait till someone else comes and tell you this. And I had my father telling me not a long time ago, I'm so proud of you and your brother. And I think this is something that every child wants to hear. But you know what I realized in this moment? It's not him who has to tell me I'm proud of you. This is just an illusion, Yelena. It's really you accepting and having compassion for yourself, and you telling yourself, I am proud of you. You are being okay with who you are, not waiting for the world to give you the confirmation you need. Someone just made you believe that you need that. You don't really need that. Not really, you don't need it at all. This is what I'm realizing now. This is my process. This is what I'm starting to feel in my heart. And at that moment, I realized it's okay, you did the best you could. You're just a conditioned little girl. That's what you are. And you're just an illusion. You're a 35-year-old lady that has her life figured out. But actually, you have a lot of wounds that you need to take a look at and heal. But you with yourself. No one else is going to take that responsibility for you. So now I know there was an amazing way and pattern to survive. And from now on, you can choose how you want to live, how you want to present yourself in the world, how you want to... I just had to look at for how long. Goodness, this video is going to be even longer than my German one. Okay, so I hope you have time. How do you want to present yourself? What do you want to live from now on? And I know now I want to live my truth. I had the courage to sit in my pain for a few months now. It was hard, but I could handle it. And I know that I want to live my truth, share my truth. I don't want to put these masks anymore when I'm feeling sad or when I don't feel like seeing anyone. I'm just not going to say yes when I feel no. I'm just not going to do that anymore. And yeah, you might changing a lot of patterns, and yeah, a lot of people might not like you anymore. Even with this video, I mean, a lot of people might not like what I'm saying. And this is totally fine, because I have to live my truth. And everyone can do with my truth whatever he feels like. Yes, what I was saying in the last video, that I had a lot of emotions of fear and sadness, and This is not quite common for a lady to say it, but I had a lot of aggression and rage inside myself. A lot. And there were one of the part of that was that I am just not resonating with the modern way of how we deal with illnesses that my mother had, or her body had. I'm not resonating with a conventional way of treating these things, because I realize that this is my perspective. You can take it or leave it. I realize that we are conditioned to fight against an illness. And my question was all the time like, oh my goodness, how can it be that we're so unconscious and fighting an illness? Like, those are your cells. Like, what are you fighting against? And why are you so conditioned to run everywhere that someone says you and put a lot of stuff in your body and you don't even know what that is? But we are conditioned to be scared. We are conditioned that we are not powerful. We are conditioned that everything what makes us happy or heals us lies outside of us. So I had a lot of resistance there. I was really trying to save my mother, and life was just giving me the biggest lesson. You cannot put your perceptions on someone else. You need to learn to let it go. But I decide now to speak my truth, my way of thinking, because it's not conventional to speak this truth. It's conventional as 95% of people I know, they believe this is the right way, and that's okay if they believe that. This is what I had to learn. It's okay, because whatever you believe creates your reality, and whatever I believe and I decide that I want to delete and install a new program, this is going to create my reality. So I'm deciding for myself what kind of reality I want to create, what kind of programs I want to have. And I'm installing stuff in my subconscious that will lead me to a life that I want to live, and not being in this hypnosis of that we are living at the moment. Yes. Another very important thing for me in this video was to say a big thank you to all the people who came to my classes and who really allowed me, after my decision, who looked from one day to the other, which was actually not. My being was feeling that I was tired, that I couldn't keep it up anymore, that I need to really stop and take a look at myself and my feelings. Why am I keeping this up? And the reactions of you guys were just like mind-blowing. Like, you allowed me to be who I am. You allowed me to just take my time. And I was scared to be bombarded by messages, by questions, and by other people's perceptions and fears, which I often experience, that people are putting their perceptions and fears on myself. But that was just a reflection for me to understand you're doing the same. So stop doing that. So you cannot expect people to do something for yourself that you are not doing for yourself. So there were a lot of unconscious people who bombarded me with questions like, I'm shocked, and why are you doing this, and you're giving up so much that you created, and how are you, and I'm having panic attacks, and I'm depressed, and why are you feeling this way, and what is your next project, and I'm sure you have a new project. And I'm like, guys, no, I'm a freaking zombie. I am going crazy right now, and I really don't know. I'm just listening to my heart, and my heart is not telling me all the steps. My heart is just telling me, take this step, and and then take this step, and then take this step, and I'm just in this process. So I had to allow myself to not explain myself to anyone and just be here. You're okay. You are enough for yourself now. You don't have to explain anyone. You're not going to continue to please everyone and to be whatever people expect you to be. And the guys from my classes, they were sending me so much loving and beautiful messages where they expressed their gratefulness for what I did and what I gave them. And I really realized that if I don't do anything more creative in my future, that it's okay, because what we created together, that was the biggest gift for me. And I still feel a lot of love for that and for the people. And I realized it's about that. It's about compassion. It's about gratefulness. It's about sharing the love, really opening your heart. It's about that. I was just living in so many illusions, and they were breaking apart the last few months. And look, guys, there's still stuff buried in my subconscious that maybe will come up because I'm finally ready to take a look at it. And I am going to, from now on, live my truth, because I realize we are also conditioned to present our happy faces and our perfection, about how happy we are, how many selfies we put, what kind of amazing body I have, and what kind of amazing relationship, and how perfect we are, even though we know no one is perfect. And we are so busy to keeping up this image and putting so much filters, and no one really knows what is behind all that. And I just know for myself now, I'm not going to represent this anymore. That was a great experience for me, with all this pain and all this awakening since years. I'm awakening since years, but this process with my mother, it was just tuning myself, my work on myself, my realizations. It's just a big tune. It's just a big tuning for me, and it's important for me from now on to really share who I really am, to really tell my truth, and everyone can do with it whatever he wants or she wants. And I want to be active in future. I want to create more of who I am and what I love. And in this period, I gave myself time. There were a lot of ideas, but also stuff that I knew this is a big part of my passion, that I didn't really pay attention to it because I was so busy doing my fitness stuff. So I have some of ideas, and I just let myself, I'm just in the flow now, and I will keep on sharing stuff. And I totally understand if people are not resonating with me anymore on my social media pages, which is totally fine for me, because I want to create from now on a reality where I live with awakened, conscious people who want to open their hearts, and this is going to be the way we are going to create something new for us. Because I know now a lot of people who don't like the reality they're living in, and I was as well in these periods in some parts of my life. And this video, actually the video before this one gave me such a relief and such a experience of freedom, because my biggest fear was always to share my vulnerabilities, and now I realize this is not a weakness, lady. This is the biggest strength you can ever have. But who conditioned you to think that way? Oh my goodness. So I somehow created this freedom for me, and I'm going to tell you how. I'm doing this guided meditations by Joe Dispenza, and I am visualizing all the time stuff. And in March, where a lot of challenges were coming my way, the synchronicity came to me, and I did a 1 month live stream meditation, changing the box from Dr. Joe Dispenza. And at that time, I just realized nothing material, nothing, not a person, nothing material, no fantasy of a abundant life will make me happy and take my pain away. So I didn't know what to visualize. But then my inner being just gave me this inspiration of, you want to feel free. You finally want to feel free. So I was like, okay. Then I visualized and I put myself in this box, and I let my body follow my mind to this box of freedom. And I was visualizing every day. This meditation was every day for 1 hour, even though I was totally miserable. But I said, overcome yourself, overcome yourself, overcome yourself, overcome yourself. You just don't give up on yourself. You just don't give up. And as I said, I don't know if people realized I was posting so many stuff. I was like affirming freedom, 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 freedom. Butterflies, freedom. And as I said, I didn't know what I was doing. I really didn't understand what I was doing. And now I know. I was affirming, I was visualizing, and my analytical mind didn't really know what freedom meant. And after the freedom, after all this stuff, my mom passing away, no freedom was coming. There was just chaos appearing, chaos, 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 breaking downs, breaking downs, breaking downs. And I was like, I didn't ask for this. Why? But something told me, be patient. And after a few months, I was in places or situations where suddenly this feeling of, oh my God, I'm feeling the freedom I was visualizing. And not only feeling, I'm living it. Like all the stuff that was really weighing me down, it's gone, I'm free. And my heart is free. I can finally share my truth. I can share my heart. And I'm not scared. I'm not scared. I am empowered. And I realized with my video, I'm empowering other people to do the same. They're resonating with me. They're writing me private messages and telling me, thank you, Yelena. Look, guys, they told me, I don't even know you. I don't even know you. Thank you so much for speaking for us the truth. Thank you. And thank you, my wonderful heart, who is guiding me now to do maybe not conventional stuff, but it feels so good. And this is what I'm going to keep on doing. I don't know, I have some ideas. I don't know exactly how this is going to look like, and I don't have to know all the steps, because I'm just conditioning myself to fall more and more in love with the unknown, because this is where all the magic is coming from. It's not from a limited knowing mind. It's really not, because the magic and the miracles are coming from the unknown. When stuff is coming your way and you're surprised, I didn't even expect that to come. And I want to keep on sharing my message, and I want to be active on social media, but I decided for myself that I need to have really clear, strict limitations. I don't want to be active all the time and follow these strategies, post every day, post every day, post every day. This is not resonating with me. I don't want to be a slave of this phone and of this social media. It has to be something good for me, and not I am belonging to this. And as I explained, it was a great way for me to distract myself from my pain. And it's a way for all of us to keep ourselves busy with nonsense stuff and not really being with ourselves, listening here, and creating what we really want. And I just want to keep my addictions, guys, big time addictions, under control. And I'm going to set some rules for myself because I don't want to fall into this trap again. So I'm going to be active, I'm going to share, I'm not going to be here around replying to all the messages, because I hope you understand that I get a lot of messages because I had like over 150 clients. So I get a lot of messages from my family, from them, from my friends. So I would be actually spending my whole day replying to messages. And I have a life. I really have a life. I want to have my free time. I want to leave my phone at home, go to nature, feel myself, and not being in this illusion of this social media created reality. So I want to use it for good stuff, but I just don't want to be like totally involved in this thing. So guys, I think I will stop because my goodness, it's almost an hour. I hope you will take the time to listen to this. And if not, it's okay. I'm not even expecting someone to my goodness, 52 minutes. So I want to say again, thank you. And yeah, I wish you all the best. And I'm looking forward to also see all my friends all over the world that I didn't see for a long time. And I know also a lot of them send me messages. They went through a lot of challenging times themselves. So I really hope this video helps everyone to really see like, I went through so much pain and I'm okay. I'm okay. Life takes care of me. I know that now. And I don't have to live in illusion that I have to only, there's contrast. I'm not going to only live hi, wow, stuff. I'm going to have a lot of challenges, but I can choose to fight and to have resistance, or I can choose to just learn to live with it and understand there's something greater coming out of this. So guys, I leave you, I sending you a big hug, lots of love, and I'm going to post something soon. I'm not really sure what, but I'm going to do it. So big love, and really thank you very much for listening and watching this video. It means really a lot to me. Mwah. Big kiss, big hug. Bye bye.